Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Titan Sports. I'm Marisa Flores.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Ethan Michael.
Hey everybody, I'm Enrique Medina.
How's it going? I'm Alex Granados.
And I'm Oscar Rodriguez. We're here to get the ball rolling to provide you with your weekly sports updates. Welcome to Titan Sports.
Upsets and injuries have already become a huge factor for the 2023 postseason as both the Lakers and Warriors beat their higher-ranked opponents. After a dominating Game 7 performance, Steph Curry added to his legacy by scoring 50 points and also sealed an impressive comeback after losing their first two games.
That's right, Marissa. The Warriors needed a performance like this while going up against the highest scoring team in the league, including Player of the Year De'Aaron Fox and the first unanimous Coach of the Year Mike Brown.
Curry and the Warriors will now be matched up against longtime rival LeBron James. The last time these opponents met in the postseason was in 2018 during the finals, where James and the Cavs forced a heavy loss.
Against the Warriors, James is 1-3 in the playoffs and hopes to add balance to their rivalry this season. Both James and the Warriors have each won a championship since their last meet and are looking to exert their continuing dominance in what may be one of the most hyped-up matchups in years.
That's right, Oscar. Heading over to the Eastern Conference now, where Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat shocked the Knicks in a Game 1 victory. However, their flame risked being put out after Butler turned his ankle late in the fourth quarter of the game.
Julius Randle was also absent from the Knicks as he's still recovering from an ankle sprain from the Game 5 series, clinching win over the Cleveland Cavaliers. After the Game 1 loss, both Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle are considered questionable for Game 2.
Now on to the NFL. With the NFL draft now over, the big discussion turns to NFL draft grades. And for this 2023 season, the story continues to revolve around the quarterbacks.
Yes, that's right. Over the past decade, we've seen how much of a premium it is to put on the position. And for the 9th time in NFL draft history, the first two picks were indeed quarterbacks.
Yes, and after moving up from number 9 overall, the Carolina Panthers gained control, becoming the number 1 overall pick in the 2023 draft, and held full control over the quarterback they desired. After much speculation as to which quarterback the team will select, the Panthers have gone on to select University of Alabama's Bryce Young, officially making him the first overall pick of the 2023 NFL Draft.
Yes, that's right. The biggest surprise of the first round, however, was the fall of Will Levis, who was not selected as a first-round pick. ESPN Analytics projected that Levis holds a 92% chance of being selected in the top 10 of the draft, but unfortunately for him, that did not happen.
Once the Indianapolis Colts took Anthony Richardson, it meant Levis would be left waiting in the green room, and he did, for the rest of the night, while the camera panned to him 27 different times. The Tennessee Titans eventually drafted Levis the following night with the 33rd pick.
For years' worth of stiff negotiating, Lamar Jackson has officially resigned with the Baltimore Ravens in what's considered to be a record-breaking deal.
This new contract is worth nearly $260 million and set for over 5 years with $185 of being guaranteed. It is estimated to pay the 2019 MVP up to $52 million a year, making him the highest paid player of all time.
The superstar quarterback has helped lead his team to the playoffs 4 of the last 5 seasons. Even though he missed most of the second half of this past season due to straining his PCL, the Ravens were still put in position to make the playoffs.
The Bengals ended up crushing those playoff dreams in round 1, though, after Jackson decided to sit out due to the risk of hurting his knee. His absence from the team proved to be impactful and profound, showing his worth as a franchise player.
Originally, the Ravens offered the 26-year-old a contract worth $130 million, guaranteed before the season even started. But after lower-ranked quarterbacks Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray received contracts well over $200 million, Jackson declined his team's initial offer.
After 27 months of fate-changing negotiations, it's safe to say the Ravens are now all in on the franchise player and are doing what they can to make up for the lack of their support.
Before finalizing a deal with their quarterback, the Ravens finally acquired a star receiver, Odell Beckham Jr. With these picks, the Ravens flock can now focus on bringing another championship back to Baltimore.
In college baseball, a Texas A&M baseball player was recently shot by a stray bullet mid-game. 18-year-old Matthew Delaney was struck in the chest during their game against the University of Houston Victoria.
Yes, that's right. Police believe the source of the gunfire to have come from a nearby shootout and do not believe Delaney himself was the one being targeted.
The police were quick to respond to the scene, following multiple calls from the surrounding neighborhood. A Facebook post from a nearby witness claims the shootout was a part of a disturbance, which then ended in a shootout where a bullet traveled nearly 400 yards and directly to the baseball field.
Yes, one of the two shooters involved in the scene has turned himself in on charges of deadly conduct, while the other is still on the run. The police continue to search for 17-year-old Kamari Butler, who is believed to be the second shooter and is wanted for aggravated assault.
Making their championship debut, Cal State Fullerton women's water polo has lost the first round of the Big West Championships 18-5 against the #1 seed, UC Irvine.
UC Irvine held an outstanding offensive performance, making a 48.6 scoring percentage compared to Cal State Fullerton's, where it was 21.7 percentage. UC Irvine broke the goal record previously set by Hawaii against Long Beach State in their semifinal game back in 2021.
Anteaters Neoka Thomas and Elena Flynn led the game, both scoring 4 goals. Titan Mio Soronzo led closely for CSUF, scoring 3 goals from 8 shot attempts.
The coach, Kyle Witt, states, quote, "The progress made outside of the pool is what defined this season. The scoreboard, the game, that was all kind of predetermined, but how they lost, played, and learned lessons along the way were important and evident to the coaching staff," end quote.
When it comes to softball, Cal State Fullerton's team continues to dominate the field. As Martin Tyler once said, "It's 11, it's heaven for the Titans," as they swept Cal Poly this past weekend.
Yes, that's right. With the sweep once again, Micah Sutherland picked up 2 more complete game wins without allowing an earned run, and this is her 8th shutout and 14th complete game of the season.
Yeah, and also she was named Pitcher of the Week in the Big West for the 4th straight week, so congrats to her. She is on a tear this season. In the first game of the series, center fielder Bailey Wallace had one of her best games of the season. She went 3 for 3 and accounted for all 4 runs in the win, including a 3-run blast, which was her first home run of her collegiate career.
Yes, that's right. The last game of the series was a pitcher's duel as the Titans only had 2 hits. However, an error by the Mustangs helped Anaya Mitchell reach first base, scoring a run, and then was driven in by a sac fly.
The Titans' lead atop the Big West standings increased with Long Beach State dropping a game once again. The Titans will host Hawaii for their senior night this weekend before a showdown against Long Beach State for the Big West title.
Yes, that's right. Well, stay tuned, everybody, for a roundtable discussion coming right up after the break.
Hello and welcome back to our roundtable discussion. I just want to mention real quick about the draft. I know Alex and I were talking about it earlier before our show started. There were some surprises and some teams that obviously won over others. But Alex, real quick, who do you think is the winner of the draft?
Has to be the Eagles easily. As a team who, as a Saints fan, it sucks because the Eagles just got that much better. I mean, Jalen Carter fell to 9, and they traded up 1 pick to get him. And then not only that, at the end of the round, they select Nolan Smith, who's another viable pass rusher. The one thing about Jalen Carter, obviously we know is off the field issues, but with the culture they have in that facility, especially with the veterans on the D-line and on the offensive side, they are going to hold him accountable. But other than that, I think the Lions had a pretty good first round too. A lot of talk about Jahmyr Gibbs going a little high, but I still like that move as well. They got a tight end in the second round, which I like. So I think the Eagles, Lions, and Seahawks actually won the first round for sure.
Well, yeah, it's interesting now, especially when you said the Lions getting that running back, and then DeAndre Swift is now with the Eagles and even makes their offensive lineup way better too. But it's crazy to think that literally the Eagles are drafting all these Georgia players. Basically, they're recreating like the 2019 defensive linemen. And it's funny too because I saw a clip from ESPN. I think the general manager of the Eagles, he actually went to Florida, the Florida Gators. So he was like, I hate picking these Georgia Bulldogs, man, but I want to win. So I think it was interesting. What about you, Ethan? Did you end up watching it?
Yeah, so I think, you just talk about the Seahawks. I think all these teams learned from that Russell Wilson trade, right? Because I feel like last time, the Broncos, they gave up too much. They gave so.
Just keep it coming.
But no, so I think with this new Jets trade with Aaron Rodgers, I feel it was more even. I actually think the Jets won that trade. So I think you see it with the Seahawks. They were the better team last year, and they got these picks. So I think teams will start to learn how, because NFL there's no league where a draft is more important than the NFL.
Well, speaking of the Packers, real quick, I just want to touch upon with Jordan Love, they actually re-extended his contract with 22.5 worth up. That's up to, and it's 13.5 million guaranteed. What do you think about
How long?
It's a year extension.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's an extension. They didn't like. Yeah.
Well, they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
I mean, he played efficiently well. We just don't know because Aaron Rodgers is on the team. So when it mattered, Aaron Rodgers was playing. So, but he's played well so far, and Jordan Love, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
And this is going to be the first time they're going to try to develop a system around him. So it's going to be the first time we're going to try to see what really are your strengths, right? That whole division as a whole is going to be very interesting. It's one that's really open for anybody. All those teams are good.
Yeah. Well, speaking of contracts, Lamar Jackson finally got his contract that he's been waiting for. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that?
Worth it. I mean, it's a players' league in terms of. That's where the worth is at.
Mm-hmm.
It's players. It's the players. It's not so much the organization as the players. Wow, Lamar Jackson probably. I don't want him to. God forbid. Probably the way he plays, a lot of people get hurt. Right? He's injury prone. But you see how much value he brought to the organization, where he didn't even play the second half of the season really, and they were still in the playoffs. And the way that the offense is designed, it's around him and his specific playing style. So. It's a no-brainer for me. I feel like all these, especially in the NFL, they deserve all the money they can get.
Real quick hot take, because I'm just curious, Ravens or the Jets this season with Rodgers making that move?
Ravens, easily.
I'm taking Ravens too.
Okay.
But
The
because I think the Jets did win the trade in my opinion as well, and I'll agree with you in that regard as much as we hate to see eye to eye sometimes. But I think they did as well, but I still think I'm going to have to take the Ravens this season.
I mean, I don't like the Ravens as a team, so I'm hoping the Jets can do good with Rodgers, and they have their weapons too. But I don't know. There's always a side where I feel like the Ravens might just do better than the Jets, but I'm hoping the Jets can pull off for me.
I mean, Jackson also negotiated this contract, so no doubt he will put up the numbers, but the pressure is on this season more than any for him to really produce those stats for that team too. So
especially now he has weapons. He has Beckham now, and then they just drafted Zay Flowers too with another elite weapon. So we'll see how maybe he'll not run as much and show some of his passing accuracy, but
You gotta have someone to throw to.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a new Lamar next coming years because we talk about the addition of the two receivers, but also they've let go of Greg Roman, who was known to have that running style with the quarterback and the running backs. Their new OC is I'm forgetting his name right now, but it's the guy from Georgia who runs a pro-style offense. So I think we're going to see Lamar throwing the pillow around a lot this season, and in the next coming years. So I'm excited for that.
Oh, they got a guy from Georgia University?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Well, switching back, we're going to switch to NBA. What do you think about the playoffs? I know, Marisa, you're a big basketball girl. So what do you think about the Lakers and Warriors matchup?
Ethan's giving me that look right now that I
They're beefing
You know,
before the show started.
he's
They're
just
beefing
giving me
before the
that
show
look.
started.
All right, so
Coincidentally.
All right, well, let's see if
Coincidentally.
they have same pick.
real quick, Warriors, I'm going to do Warriors in 7 because of the caliber of
Oh
talent
my
that you have on both of those teams. I've said all semester, though, or this season, that the Lakers aren't as consistent as I would like them to be, but they do have that chip on their shoulder. They make those drives when they need to, but I see it going to 7. I'm going to go ahead and take the Warriors there. 76ers, Celtics. I'm going to go ahead and take the Sixers without Embiid. Phoenix and Nuggets, I'm going to go ahead and take Denver on that one too. Heat and Knicks, Jimmy Butler, man, he's on fire. I have to take the Heat. Even though he might be hurt and we still don't really know about how long and what's going to happen with that, they've just been on too much of a streak right now. I don't see them stopping that anytime soon. They have the momentum on their side. he is a great player, but he's not the whole team. So in that regard, I could see the Heat taking it.
Forget about what you just said, because we actually agree with like all of them except the Heat one, because I feel like I actually don't think they're a good team, because especially without Tyler Hero, you know, that was their guy off the bench, their spark off the bench. I just don't think they have enough offense. And then they get rid of the guy who's like dropping 50 all the time. No, it's a wrap for the Heat if Jimmy doesn't play. But you know, back to that Warriors series, it comes down to one guy, Anthony Davis. That's what this series is about, is Anthony Davis.
Guy, huh?
No, I don't trust him. No.
How do you think Looney and Davis are going to match up at the rim?
I mean, well, Looney's been going off. He's been getting like 20 rebounds a game. He's been saving that team. But you know, it's not so much LeBron or Steph Curry. It's more that I trust the others of the Warriors, because you got to give credit where credit's due. Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and D'Angelo Russell. They've been playing out of their minds, especially this last series. But I trust Klay Thompson, one of the best shooters of all time, Hall of Famer. I trust All-Star last year Andrew Wiggins, who's finally getting in rhythm after missing time. I trust Jordan Poole, and you know, Draymond as well. So I trust the others of the Warriors more, but you know, if Anthony Davis can dominate for 4 games, I'll be wrong. That just remains to be seen, whether he can dominate 4 games or not.
Right, and to back off of that, I mean, it comes down to experience, right? This Lakers team is still very new, right? It's pretty much playing with each other since that trade deadline. And as much as I want to see the Lakers win this series as a Lakers fan myself, I just feel like the Warriors, we talked about it a little bit, they can out-stamina them, and then they just have that championship pedigree. I mean, the Lakers, they've only been together for a few months, so I feel like all is in the cards for this to be the Warriors series.
What's going on over here? I'm sorry.
No, finish off. I'll go after. It's not prediction.
No, but you're right. I agree. They're a championship machine, right? That's what they've been these last 10 years now almost. So, but the thing is, with the Kings, they were the highest scoring team in the league, and the Warriors, they started this trend of being able to just kill teams with runs, with threes, and they did that. I don't think the Lakers have enough shooters to combat these runs that the Warriors go on frequently. So that's why I'm picking the Warriors.
Nah. Go ahead. Go ahead. I was going to say, how can you not picking the Lakers? I have the Lakers in 7, bro. I have the Lakers, man. You know what? You guys do make some like good facts and like have good takes about, yes, the Warriors are a way better shooting team, and yes, the Lakers can defend to save their lives. Like literally, our floor director Ryan was saying that they can't defend anything
Or shoot.
or I don't know about shooting. So it depends on the day too. Depends on the day. But I got the Lakers. I'm a Laker fan, so I'm gonna have my faith in them. I'm gonna be with them. So.
All right, hey, I'm a Lakers fan too. We're solely making predictions right now. We're not saying who we're rooting for. We're saying who we think is going to win. I think as much as I don't want them to, the Warriors are going to go ahead and take that in 7 on my end. But both teams are going to have to make major adjustments because, like you said, the Lakers, they can't really shoot. But when you're facing the Grizzlies, who have DB, who's shooting like 30 from the field, then, you know, of course they're going to go ahead and win. And on the opposite side, you have the Warriors, who also just face the Kings, who are mainly an offensive team, not a defensive team, and you're going to face a stronger defense going against this Lakers team. So they're both going to have to make the turnaround and make it quick. Tonight's the first game, right?
Yes,
Tonight,
correct.
yeah. So I don't know. I'm excited. It's going to be, this series, I think, is going to go down in the history books when we talk about this rivalry between LeBron and Curry, because this, 3-1.
It's been pretty one-sided so far.
It's been pretty one-sided. It has, but I'm interested to see if he is going to go ahead and balance it up.
Yeah, and real quick note on Steph Curry. Over the past couple seasons, there's been a debate who the best player is in the NBA. It's a lot of Giannis, a lot of Doncic, but you know what? Steph Curry came by Sunday night and he said, "Y'all must have forgot," because he is the best player in the league right now, and he's trending towards top 10 ever. So we got to start giving him his flowers and respect, because I don't know what it is about the media. We always undermine his game and underestimate how valuable he is, but
I think we undermine him as a leader too, because one thing everyone's been alluding to this series when they choose the Lakers to win is that they point to LeBron as a leader and as a veteran, and he's a great leader in that regard. But they even said when Curry when it went to that Game 7, that Curry,
the speech.
Yeah, Green said that he gave a speech in the locker room basically saying that they're going to have to press on the gas in Game 7, just pretty much like, what are we doing? And he really led them to that win. And he really, in my opinion, carried the team on his back during that series because he put up some big points. And you have the Lakers who are going to face, I'd say, one of the best shooters in the game. So it's going to be tough.
Two of the best shooters in the game.
Yeah, well, Clay, I'm a little upset with Clay. He didn't do as good as I wanted him to do in Game 7, but I expect him to come back in this series.
That's what's scary about the Warriors, because the others I was saying, those three were not even that hot, right? It took Steph Curry 50-point game for them to win that game. So it's all up for the Warriors. I think it's all down for the Lakers in terms of what we've seen, because we have not seen Anthony Davis dominate for 4 games.
I think too. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you brought up Austin Reeves earlier too. Austin Reeves is a great assist to LeBron, so I think that's gonna be a huge catalyst in this series if they want to go ahead and take it. Is Austin Reeves and LeBron really making that connection? Because when they do, man, they put up some really big points, and once they get that momentum going between them, especially at home, it's hard. It's hard to win in the. I was about to say Staples in the Crypto.com arena now. But. Gonna be tough.
Well, going from Ethan with you too, Marisa, what you guys saying about Curry was the Lakers definitely have to switch up their defensive game plan too, because I know the Warriors do a lot of what is it called, that play where you just pass it to him real quick and then you do a screen and then he shoots it from the 3. I don't know what it's called, but something I think it's a pop-up shot or something. I don't know.
What it's called.
Pick and pop.
Yeah, there you go. My basketball analyst over there. Something like that. They always do that. It's all with Clay or with Curry. They always do that. Exactly. So they have to either run zone or they can't stick to man, because I know they're definitely going to be losing by a lot if they could just stick to man. Yeah.
Something where you were talking about earlier when we were talking about how, it's always a new guy, right? They're always trying to hype up a new guy, and right now it's Joel Embiid, who's one of the front runners for MVP, but he wasn't playing last game, and James Harden came down a vintage performance, because that's the thing with James Harden. He's a facilitator to a guy like Joel Embiid now, but he's still one of the best scorers of all time, and he proved that in that game 1 against Boston. In Boston, I don't think Boston's looking too good. They're sauceless, and James Harden all sauce. Good for the league.
Well, it's definitely going to be an interesting playoff match. We got the Heat and the Knicks, and then especially with tonight's matchup with the Warriors and Lakers.
Great series.
Lakers on 7, baby. All right, tight ends, that's all the time we have for you today. I'm Oscar Rodriguez.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Enrique Medina.
See you guys soon. I'm Ethan Michael.
Have a great week. I'm Alex Granados.
Thank you guys for joining us for another episode. I'm Marisa Flores. Go ahead and, as always, give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter if you haven't already at CSUF Titan Sports to keep you updated on all things sports. We'll see you guys next time.
I'm getting a haircut next week, I promise.